Hello and welcome. Let me ask you a quick question. Do you ever find yourself struggling to open a jar that used to pop open with ease? Or perhaps you feel a little less steady on your feet than you'd like, forcing you to think twice before climbing a flight of stairs. This gradual loss of strength has a name: sarcopenia. It's the age-related muscle loss that silently chips away at our freedom and independence. For years, we've been told the solution is to simply add a bit more protein here and there throughout our day. But what if that advice is fundamentally flawed? What if you're doing everything you think is right, but still not seeing the results? The latest science is clear. The real key to fighting sarcopenia isn't just one thing, but a powerful two-step strategy of hitting the right amount of protein at the right time of day. My name is Frank Taylor, and at 68 years young, I want to be clear, I am not a medical doctor. I've dedicated my retirement to being a sort of health detective for folks just like us. I spend my days digging into the latest clinical studies, and I always link my sources in the description below. To turn that complex science into practical advice we can actually use in our daily lives. And the research on this is truly eye-opening. For example, a landmark study in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition confirms that protein distribution throughout the day is a critical, often overlooked factor for muscle health in older adults. So in this video, we are going to build your definitive muscle protection plan. First, we'll uncover the exact protein magic number you need to hit in a single meal. Then, I'll reveal the single most important time of day to consume that meal for maximum effect. And finally, I'll give you a simple, delicious blueprint to put this strategy into action starting tomorrow. But before we dive in, I have a question for you, and I'd be grateful if you'd share your thoughts. What does your typical breakfast look like right now? Is it something quick like toast or cereal, or have you already been focusing on protein? Let me know in the comments below. I truly read every single one, and your experiences help our entire community learn and grow together. All right, let's get started. This is the information I wish I had a decade ago. Part 1, Why Your Muscles Are Deaf and How to Shout at Them. All right, let's get into it. Before we can build our new, powerful muscle protection plan, we first need to understand why the old plan, the one most of us have been following for years, is failing us so miserably. Now, what's the common advice we always hear? Just make sure you get a little bit of protein in every meal, right? A boiled egg with your breakfast toast, a small piece of chicken in your lunchtime salad, a modest portion of fish for dinner. On the surface, it sounds perfectly logical. It's balanced, it's consistent. It feels responsible. But here's the shocking truth I uncovered in my research. For people over 60, this balanced approach is often the fastest path to weakness. It's like trying to fill a swimming pool with a teaspoon. You're putting in the effort, but the pool is never going to get full. Why? The answer lies in a single formidable villain that arrives uninvited as we age. It's a biological gatekeeper, a stubborn guard standing in front of your muscles. Its name is anabolic resistance. Think of it this way: inside your body, there's a constant tug-of-war happening. On one side, you have muscle protein breakdown. That's the natural process of old muscle cells being cleared away. On the other side, you have muscle protein synthesis, or MPS. That's the magic process of building new, strong muscle tissue. When we're young, it's an even match. But as we get older, this anabolic resistance guard shows up and makes it much, much harder to start the building process. He's a stubborn fellow. He doesn't listen to whispers. You can send a small 10-gram protein snack to the gate, and he'll just fold his arms and shake his head. You can send a 15-gram protein lunch, and he won't even flinch. He is programmed to ignore these small signals. This is precisely why sprinkling your protein throughout the day is ineffective. You're sending a series of polite little messengers that the guard simply refuses to let through the gate. The result? The muscle-building factory stays closed, while the breakdown process continues quietly in the background. Day by day, we lose a little bit more ground. So how do we get past this stubborn guard? We can't reason with him. We can't trick him. We have to do the one thing he can't ignore. We have to send a signal so strong, so powerful, that he has no choice but to step aside and open the gates. This brings me back to my favorite analogy, the stubborn old radio. Imagine your ability to build muscle is this vintage radio. In your 20s, the reception was crystal clear. You could turn the volume knob just a tiny bit, and you'd hear beautiful music. That's your muscle protein synthesis kicking in. But now, decades later, there's a lot of static, isn't there? That static is anabolic resistance. You turn the knob a little, a 10-gram protein yogurt, and all you hear is pshh, static. You turn it a little more, a 15-gram handful of almonds, and you still hear crush, more static. You feel frustrated. You know the music is in there somewhere, but you can't seem to find it. This is the exact state your body is in when you sprinkle your protein. You're living in a world of metabolic static, never quite hitting the clear signal needed to build muscle. So what's the secret? You have to give that volume knob a decisive, confident turn, all at once, to a specific point. You have to break through the static, and in the world of protein, that decisive turn has a name: leucine. Leucine is one of the 9 essential amino acids, the building blocks of protein. But it's special. Leucine is the spark plug. It's the lead singer of the band. It's the specific key that turns the ignition of your muscle-building engine. Without enough leucine in a single sitting, the engine won't start. And here is the billion-dollar question. How much protein do we need to eat in one go to ensure we get enough leucine to blast through that static and get past that stubborn guard? Well, brilliant researchers like Dr. Douglas Patton-Jones and Dr. Stuart Phillips have spent their careers studying this, and the science is remarkably consistent. The magic number, the minimum dose required to reliably trigger muscle protein synthesis in older adults, is around 30 grams of high-quality protein in a single meal. Let me repeat that. 30 grams. In one sitting. That 30-gram dose acts like a powerful shout. It's the signal that's finally loud enough for your hard-of-hearing muscles to register. It delivers over 2.5 grams of leucine, the spark plug, which tells the stubborn guard, "We mean business," and forces him to open the gates. Suddenly, the static is gone. The music comes through loud and clear. The muscle-building factory doors fly open. When you hit that 30-gram threshold, you don't just build a little muscle. You flip a metabolic switch that stays on for hours, protecting you from muscle breakdown and actively building stronger, healthier tissue. Anything less than that, and you might as well be whispering in a hurricane. So, the first step in our strategy is clear. We must stop sprinkling. We must stop whispering. We need to gather our protein into a focused, powerful dose. We need to learn how to shout. But now that we know how much to shout, the equally important question is, when should we do it for the absolute best results? That's the second step of our plan, and it's what we're diving into next. The breakfast heist, how your morning toast is secretly stealing your muscle. So we've cracked the first part of the code. We know that to get past that stubborn anabolic resistance guard, we can't whisper anymore. We have to shout. We need to deliver a powerful, decisive dose of at least 30 grams of protein to force open the gates to muscle growth. If you missed that part, I highly recommend watching it first. But now we arrive at the second and arguably more subtle part of the strategy. It's the question that elevates our plan from just good to unbeatable. We know how much to shout, but when is the absolute best time to do it for maximum impact? The answer might surprise you because it involves taking a hard look at a meal we often cherish, a meal steeped in comfort and routine. I'm talking about breakfast. Because the hard truth is, for most of us, our typical breakfast isn't just failing to help us, it's actively committing a crime against our muscles. I call it the Great Breakfast Heist. Every morning, that innocent-looking slice of toast or bowl of cereal is secretly robbing you of your strength, and it's been getting away with it for decades. To understand how this heist works, we need to think about what's happening inside your body when you wake up. After an 8 to 10 hour fast overnight, your body is in a state called catabolism. It's a fancy word, but it simply means your body is in a breakdown mode. Your glycogen stores are low, and to get the energy it needs for basic functions, your body starts looking for sources to break down. And one of its favorite targets? Your precious muscle tissue. You literally wake up in a state where your body is eating its own muscle for fuel. This is a critical moment. The first meal of the day is your opportunity to stop this breakdown process in its tracks and flip the switch over to anabolism, the building mode. The choice you make in this first hour will set your metabolic tone for the entire day. This is where the heist begins. What do we typically eat? Cereal, oatmeal, toast with jam, a pastry, maybe a piece of fruit. These are almost entirely carbohydrates. Now, carbs aren't evil, they give us energy. But in this specific situation, they are a master of distraction. Eating a high-carb breakfast is like handing a starving man a glass of water. It quenches his thirst for a moment, but it does nothing to solve his underlying hunger. Your high-carb breakfast gives your body a quick shot of sugar for energy, which temporarily stops the breakdown, but it provides absolutely zero raw materials to start building. Let's go back to our construction site analogy from part 1. It's 7 a.m. The sun is up. Your construction crew, your muscle cells, have arrived on site after a long night off. They are fresh, motivated, and are standing by, ready for the first big delivery of bricks so they can start building. This is the moment of greatest potential in the entire day. Now, let's play out the breakfast heist scenario. A small, sad-looking pickup truck arrives. This is your toast and jam. It unloads about 5 grams of protein. That's like a handful of loose bricks. The foreman looks at the tiny pile and sighs. What can his crew possibly do with this? They can't build a wall. They can't lay a foundation. So they spend the next few hours just sweeping the site, maybe patching a tiny crack here or there. The prime building hours of the morning, from 7 a.m. to noon, are completely wasted. The crew's potential is squandered. Now imagine a different scenario. The muscle-building scenario. At 7 a.m., a massive 18-wheeler truck roars onto the site. This is your 30-gram protein-packed breakfast. The back doors swing open, revealing pallets upon pallets of high-quality bricks. The foreman's eyes light up. He grabs his megaphone and puts the entire crew to work. The sound of construction fills the air. They are not just sweeping, they are building. They are laying foundations, erecting walls, and the entire structure gets stronger, hour by hour. This is the power of what scientists call front-loading your protein. By consuming your single largest, most powerful protein meal of the one first thing in the morning, you are hitting your muscles with the building blocks they need at the exact moment they are most receptive to them. You flip that catabolic switch to off and slam the anabolic switch to on, and it stays on for hours. A fascinating study published in the journal Cell Reports looked at this very thing. Researchers found that protein consumed in the morning was significantly more effective at increasing muscle size and function compared to the exact same amount of protein consumed at dinner. The researchers concluded that our body's internal clock, our circadian rhythm, makes our muscles primed and ready for growth in the morning. By evening, they are shifting more towards repair and rest. So, eating a high-protein dinner is still good, but it's like having that big truck of bricks arrive at 4 p.m. when half the crew has already gone home and the rest are tired. You'll get some work done, yes, but you've missed the golden window of opportunity. The Great Breakfast Heist is so clever because it doesn't feel like a crime. It feels normal. It's what we've always done. But every day you start with a low-protein, high-carb breakfast, you are being robbed of your potential to build and maintain strength. You're telling your eager construction crew to take the morning off, day after day, year after year. So, the second step of our strategy becomes crystal clear. We take our 30-gram shout and we aim it squarely at the most important meal of the day. We stop the heist. We fire the lazy pickup truck driver and we hire the 18-wheeler. We make breakfast the metabolic main event. But how do we do that? What does a 30-gram protein breakfast actually look like on a plate? Is it difficult? Is it expensive? The answer is no, and that's the final practical piece of our puzzle, which we're going to solve right now. The blueprint. 3 foolproof breakfasts to build muscle after 60. Welcome back. So far, we've been detectives. We've uncovered the crime, and we've identified the culprits. In part 1, we learned that our muscles have gone deaf with age. And to get their attention, we need to shout with at least 30 grams of protein in a single meal. In part 2, we exposed the Great Breakfast Heist, discovering that the most critical time to deliver that protein shout is first thing in the morning, to stop our bodies from breaking down muscle tissue. Now comes the most important part of all, the part where we stop talking and start doing. This is where the detective hangs up his coat and becomes an architect. I'm going to give you the blueprint, a practical, step-by-step guide to building the perfect muscle-protecting breakfast. Many people hear 30 grams of protein, and they immediately think of huge steaks or complicated, expensive meals. I'm here to tell you it doesn't have to be that way. The goal is to make this simple, sustainable, and even enjoyable. Before I show you the 3 blueprints, let's establish 2 simple ground rules. Rule number 1. Protein is the star. From now on, when you think about breakfast, I want you to ask yourself one question first. Where is my 30 grams of protein coming from? Start with your protein source, and then build the rest of your meal around it. The protein is the star of the show, the toast, the fruit, the oatmeal. They are the supporting cast. Rule number 2. Simplicity is your superpower. You do not need to become a gourmet chef. The most effective breakfasts are often the simplest ones. We are aiming for consistency, not complexity. With those rules in mind, let's build our first blueprint. I call this one the Classic Defender. Blueprint number 1. The Classic Defender, the Power Omelette. There is a reason eggs have been a breakfast staple for centuries. They are a nutritional powerhouse. But on their own, they won't get us to our 30-gram target. A large egg has about 6 grams of protein, so even if you eat 3, that's only 18 grams. We're still whispering. We need to teach the classic omelet how to shout. And we do that with a secret ingredient, cottage cheese. I know it might sound strange, but trust me on this. Cottage cheese is one of the most underrated protein sources on the planet. It's packed with slow-digesting casein protein, which is fantastic for keeping you full and feeding your muscles for hours. Here's the blueprint. The base. Crack 3 large eggs into a bowl. That's our starting 18 grams of protein. The booster. Add a half cup of 2% or Forford cottage cheese. This adds a whopping 14 grams of protein. Right there, you're at 32 grams before you've even added anything else. Whisk it all together. The cottage cheese melts into the eggs, making them incredibly creamy and fluffy. You'll barely know it's there. The nutrients. Toss in a large handful of spinach, some chopped mushrooms, or bell peppers for vitamins, minerals, and fiber. The method: cook it in a pan with a little olive oil or butter. Season with salt and pepper. In less than 10 minutes, you have a delicious, satisfying meal that officially opens your muscle-building factory for the day. It's warm, savory, and incredibly effective. Blueprint number 2. The Quick Champion. The Greek Yogurt Power Bowl. All right, blueprint number 2 is for those of you who say, "Frank, I don't have time to cook in the morning." I hear you. This one is the Quick Champion, and it takes less than 3 minutes to prepare. The hero of this blueprint is plain Greek yogurt. It's crucial that you choose plain Greek yogurt, not the flavored versions which are often loaded with sugar. Plain Greek yogurt is a protein beast. 1 cup gives you around 20 to 23 grams of protein. That's a fantastic start, but we're not shouting just yet. We need a booster. Here's the blueprint. The base. Start with 1 cup of plain 2% or 5 Greek yogurt. That's our 20-23 grams of protein. The booster. Add 1 scoop of a high-quality whey protein isolate powder. Now, some people think protein powder is just for bodybuilders. That's a myth. Think of it as a tool. It is one of the most efficient, affordable, and easily digestible protein sources available, making it perfect for our needs. 1 scoop typically adds another 20 to 25 grams of protein. The method: add the powder to the yogurt and stir slowly at first to combine, then more quickly until it's smooth like a mousse. The flavor: top it with a handful of antioxidant-rich berries, a tablespoon of chia seeds or walnuts for healthy fats and fiber. There you have it, a breakfast bowl with over 40 grams of protein that you can make in the time it takes to brew a cup of coffee. It's fast, it's delicious, and it's a metabolic grand slam. Blueprint number 3. The Liquid Lifesaver. The Savory Smoothie. This final blueprint is what I call the Liquid Lifesaver. It's for those of us who often wake up with a low appetite, or perhaps find chewing difficult, or simply don't enjoy eating a solid meal first thing in the morning. The smoothie allows us to pack an incredible amount of nutrition and protein into a format that's easy to consume. Here's the blueprint. The liquid base. Start with 1 to 1.5 cups of unsweetened almond milk or regular milk in your blender. The protein powerhouse. This is non-negotiable. Add 1.5 scoops of whey or a plant-based protein powder. This is our entire 35-40 grams of protein right here. The Stealth Health Crew. Now for the magic. Add a large handful of fresh spinach. I promise you, you will not taste it, but you'll get all of its nutrients. For healthy fats and a creamy texture, add a quarter of an avocado or a tablespoon of almond butter. The flavor: add a 1/4 cup of frozen blueberries or half a banana. Using frozen fruit makes the smoothie cold and thick without needing to add ice. The method: blend it all for 45 seconds until it's perfectly smooth. This smoothie is more than a drink. It's a complete meal. It overcomes every barrier. No time, no appetite, no problem. You are delivering that 40-gram shout to your muscles in the most efficient way possible. So, there you have it. 3 foolproof blueprints: the Classic Defender, the Quick Champion, and the Liquid Lifesaver. This isn't a restrictive diet. This is a strategy. You now have the tools. Your only job is to pick the one that best fits your life and start building. Your 7-day strength challenge. So there you have it. The Classic Defender, the Quick Champion, and the Liquid Lifesaver. 3 simple, yet incredibly powerful blueprints. But I want you to see these as more than just recipes. See them for what they truly are. Tools of empowerment. They are your keys to taking back control from the aging process. For too long, we've been told that getting weaker is inevitable. But the science shows us that's not the whole story. We have a say in the matter. We can choose to fight back, not with exhausting workouts or complicated restrictive diets, but by making one single strategic change that has a ripple effect throughout our entire day. It all starts with breakfast, and to help you experience this firsthand, I want to leave you with a simple invitation. I call it the 7-Day Strength Challenge. The challenge is this. For the next 7 days, I want you to forget about changing everything else in your diet. Just focus on breakfast. Pick one of the 3 blueprints we discussed today, whichever one fits your lifestyle best, and commit to hitting that 30-gram protein target every single morning for 1 week. That's it. Don't worry about being perfect. Just try it and pay close attention to how you feel. Notice your energy levels in the morning. Notice if you feel fuller for longer. Notice your mental clarity. This is your own personal experiment. So, to quickly recap our entire investigation today, we learned that the root cause of accelerated muscle loss is a condition called anabolic resistance. We debunked the myth that simply sprinkling protein throughout the day is an effective strategy, and we discovered the powerful 2-step solution. First, shouting at our muscles with a dose of at least 30 grams of protein, and second, doing it at the most critical time of day, breakfast. Remember, building a healthier and stronger life is a journey, not a destination. It's about making these small, intelligent choices consistently every single day. And on that note, I would love to hear from you. What is one small change you are inspired to make after watching this video today? Will you try the power omelet? Or maybe you'll add whey protein to your shopping list? Please share your first step in the comments below. I promise, I read every single one, and your story could be the inspiration someone else needs to see today. If you found this information helpful, please do me a favor and click the thumbs up button. Share it with a friend or family member who you think might benefit, and be sure to subscribe and click the notification bell so you don't miss our future videos. Thank you so much for your time and attention. I'm Frank Taylor, and I'll see you in the next one.